Hello everyone and welcome back to one of those videos where I'm back in my hometown bed before I leave. This is one of those videos where I'm just going to be talking the entire time, so if you want to grab a little snack, if you want to paint your nails, or you want to clean up your apartment or your room while you're watching, then go ahead, because I'm just going to be yapping to you guys today. It's going to be a nice little yapping video. And today I'm going to be telling you guys my glow up plans for 2026. You know how we had like 2025, which is 2020 Thrive? My version for 2026 is 2026 the main character mix. This is the year that I want to live my personal best life. I feel like I've already kind of set myself up in 2025 for it. So I'm going to swap it around, or continue it I guess, and move into 2026. This is the year to fix. This is the year to have your main character mix. And for that, I've got my own 10-step plan that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, which is just kind of like 10 categories of goals. So sit back, relax, and take some ideas for yourself while I tell you this, okay? Step number 1 is going to be journaling my heart out. Now that means I'm going to be utilizing the heck out of every single journaling thing that I possibly can. My boyfriend for Christmas got me like a little reading journal, so I'm going to be using that a lot. I'm going to be tracking my reading a lot better on that, as well as honestly on Goodreads and Fable. I'm going to be finally using them a lot more as well. The good thing about that reading journal he got me as well is it has so many blank pages, so at the end I'm going to put my bingo card for the year, which is kind of like a really good way to have goals and to try and have more motivation to reach said goals. Also I finally want to start journaling about my day. I want to start finally doing the whole thing where you write 3 things that were good about that day at the end of each day, or at the start of the day you do 3 things you want to achieve, stuff like that. Oh, I've got a headband right here. Glorious. I have gotten a surplus amount of journals for like my birthday and Christmas this year. I think I've gained 3, and so I want to start using them the best way I can. So one of them is going to go towards journaling about my day, which I think I want to do 3 things that were good at the end of the day, because I feel like that's going to help me boost like my confidence a lot. And if I had a bad day, then I have to think of 3 good things about the day, so it wasn't so bad if I got to have 3 good things. You get what I mean? Step number 2 of my 10-step plan is keeping organized. This is the year that I want to be so much more of an organized person. I feel like I am a very organized person in general. I like planning out my week. I have like a little like weekly planner, like whiteboard at home that I usually use and stuff like that. But I want to be even more organized this year. So that means I have a calendar that I got through a white elephant, as well as I got like a proper 2026 planner. I'm going to be using them a lot more. I'm going to be planning out my week, especially so I can organize, you know, like Twitch streaming and work and everything. I'd like to kind of combine a bit more of a routine with that, especially now being out of university. I also want to organize my weeks very well in the way of that, so I don't get burnt out. I feel like burnout is something that I've struggled with a lot, like overbooking myself and everything. So one of my goals for 2026 is to not be so burnt out, because when we're glowing up, we don't get burnt out, okay? So that's why I'm going to be organizing my week in a good enough way that I also have time for myself, because I feel like that is such valuable time. Number 3 is making money come my way. Now that also doesn't just mean I want to make a bunch of money, I want to be rich, I want to be a millionaire. That's my goal for the year. No. As much as I'd like that to happen, that's not going to happen in a year unless a miracle happens. Instead of it just being making money, I also want to preserve the money that I have. Does that make sense? What I mean is I'm going to be finding like cheaper but still good makeup alternatives. My favorite foundation is like $90, and I hate that it's $90, but NARS, you do good foundation, okay? So I've been trying to find a better alternative that is still like a good matte foundation, because I love matte foundations, but cheaper. I got a Maybelline Fit Me foundation that's like a matte foundation. I want to try that out and see how I like that. Because if that's like a good alternative, like I'd still like to have my NARS foundation for like my little fancy days, because we all love fancy days. But for like everyday use, I'd like to use something cheaper. And that was $16 and it was half off. And like, I feel like Maybelline gets half off not too rarely, so I feel like it's like worth it, you know? I'm also going to be looking officially into becoming a freelancer, so that means I'm going to be putting myself on Fiverr for like a numerous amount of things, and also getting an ABN so I can finally do like freelance acting. So like that's a big goal for the year, to like start finally getting into like the freelance acting world. If I don't get an agent, like that's fine, but I want to constantly be acting until I can get like an agent, until something happens with all that sort of stuff. So that's why I'm going to be freelancing myself a lot. And Money will be coming my way, hopefully, with all that. And I'm also going to be making cheaper meals. I need to start shopping at the cheaper places like Aldi instead of like always Coles and Woolworths and everything, just because Aldi isn't that bad. It is just a bit cheaper, so I want to see if I like some of the stuff that they have, just so I can save a bit of money in that regard, because I feel like that is very, very important. I like saving money. Step number 4 is taking care of myself mentally. This is a big, big thing. I've already kind of touched on it by saying like not overbooking myself to not burn out, stuff like that. But I especially want to like, I guess, do things for myself a lot more. Like I really want to get like a set skincare routine. On my little Christmas vlog I did skincare. That was like a good little skincare routine, but I want to be more consistent with it. Because even today I've been like touching my face and being like, oh, I feel feels very smooth. So it like kind of boosts my dopamine a little bit, and my, I guess, is that dopamine? It makes me happier. No, dopamine's not happy, but it boosts my happiness up a lot because it just makes me feel a lot confident in myself and a lot better, so hence making it more mentally better. You get what I mean? I'm also going to be growing my nails because something I'd like is for my nails to be long enough to be able to get them painted in like a nice design every single month by like a nice like nail place. But I want them to be my natural nails and I don't want to get acrylics, so I'm going to be growing them back out. I did that a little bit this year, but during like my grad show I was very stressed out and I bit them a fair bit. And then also I'm going to be journaling a lot more. Again, like I touched on earlier, I want to be journaling because I feel like it's going to help me out so much more mentally. I'd also like to try things like meditation and everything, see if anything like that is going to help me out. But essentially I just want to do things that make me happier to kind of help the bad days, I guess. Because in the main character mix, we look after ourselves, because main characters, we gotta look after ourselves. And so that's what I aim to do, essentially. Halfway through with number 5, we are going to be rediscovering new hobbies this coming year. This means knitting and painting. I already did a fair bit of those, especially during COVID. I did this whole thing. Do you guys know what finger knitting is? I did that for ages, and I used to stitch them together into these like little circles because like it was just kind of fun for me to do. So I want to kind of get back into like more like actual knitting. And I also want to paint. I want to paint again. I need to wait till I move out of my current place because I have nowhere to paint, but I'd like to get back into it because I wasn't half bad and it was actually quite fun when I did it. So I'd like to get back into that. Another thing I would like to do is maybe eventually try and afford to get like a keyboard, one with like the headphone slot, because I'm definitely not going to be in a place where people won't be able to hear it. But I want to like fully get back into my instruments a lot more. I did piano lessons for 5 years. I don't really want to give up that talent and I don't want to lose all that. So I'd like to get back into it and make sure I keep the musical element that I have. I also learned how to play clarinet for my grad show. I wish I could keep that up. I probably won't be able to because like clarinets are very expensive. I did look them up afterwards. I was kind of curious, but that's fine. And another thing I'm going to be doing, which I can officially do now because of one of my Christmas presents, I can finally learn how to crochet. I really wanted to learn to crochet for so long. I've always thought it was like such a fun thing to be able to do, but I never could wrap my head around it. Now I have an excuse to properly try, because my mum got me these little like crochet kits for Christmas, so I'm going to be focusing on that. I'd also like to, if I can as well, pick up like little skills through these hobbies that would be good for my acting resume, but like that's not fully part of the glove. This is how I'm working on myself. This is how I'm well, acting is working on myself, but you get what I mean. This is just like the little fun things. Number 6 is probably one of the most important ones. I'm going to be entering my healthy girl era. I'm going to be officially cutting off soft drink as much as possible. I say as I go to grab it, I felt like this would make a point. But I would like to eventually cut it off mostly. My main rule that I had at the start of this year when I did kind of decent without soft drink was only when I was going out to like clubs and stuff like that, because I don't always drink alcohol when I'm going out. So if I'm not drinking alcohol, I can have a soft drink. It's not gonna kill me, you get what I mean? It's just not that good for me. At the end of the day, it's just not that good for me. I wanna drink more water and everything, which with like having my emotional support water bottles, I feel like I've developed a lot more in drinking a lot more water. I used to never drink water, but I can definitely get better and I aim to get better. Because a healthy girl is a healthy life, and main characters need to be healthy. Some of them fight in wars and shit, they need to be kind of healthy. Even if they start off as like their little frail self that they apparently always do in these shows and movies and books and stuff. I would also like to do home workouts a lot more. I won't be able to get a gym right away because until I move houses, I don't want to like commit to a gym. Some of them have like 2 or 3 months that you have to go. What if I don't stay in my apartment that long and then I've suddenly just wasted money? Also, I want to start doing more yoga. Yoga was like starting to get me actually flexible. And so I want to do that. I want to develop a bit more muscle in my arms and everything. I want to do a lot of knee exercises because my knees are really bad. So I feel like if I start doing a lot more knee exercises and stuff like that, that's going to turn down how many dislocations I've had. I had 5 this year. It wasn't the best number. And then these last 2 kind of parts of this kind of just come in hand. I want to learn how to eat healthier and I want to eat more protein. I do not have the best relationship with food. If people have seen some of my other vlogs, I have like a fear of trying foods where it's just, I get an anxiety reaction when it comes to new foods and it's a very stressful situation for me. So I definitely want to work on that because I've gotten a lot better this last year and a half maybe even. But I definitely can get better and I'd like to get better because then finally when I've tried a lot of food, I can finally start working into like eating more of those new foods into my diet. I need to start eating healthier. I have not eaten the best food and I definitely want to eat a lot healthier. So that's my goal. That's one of my biggest goals, just to be a healthier person. Now this point is very small, but I feel like it's so important. Locking into a good mindset, a good attitude, and entering into a good life. What you put out into the universe is so important, and I'm not just saying that spiritually, I'm saying that mentally and physically and everything like that. Your mindset is such an important and key part to making progress in life, so that's why I want to be locking into all of that. If you put out into the universe that you're not going to do good, you probably won't do good because you're telling yourself already that you're not going to do good, and then subconsciously you won't do good. But if you put out to the universe that you're going to try your best, that you're going to work hard, that you're going to succeed, you will, because that's what you're putting out into the world and that's what's going to come back to you because subconsciously you're going to be feeling that way. And so it's so important to be locking into a good attitude and a good life. Now here we go. Now this is one of the biggest ways that I'm going to be locking in this coming year. I am going to be focusing on all of my careers that I'd like to do. I am going to be attending outside acting classes, hopefully. I'm going to be wanting to do intimacy coordination because that's something that I've actually really started really wanting to learn how to study and become one of those people. They're the people that do the choreographed spicy scenes in films and TV and everything. I want to be those people that just help people feel safer in those conditions because those are very vulnerable spaces. I want to also be attending dance classes and singing classes. I want to be continuing to write my book. I've started officially writing a poetry book this year and I would love to continue doing that. And I want to focus a lot more on this, on social media, on producing good content that I would want to watch. Hence why I've been trying to up my game a little bit. My friends got me this camera that I'm currently using to film for my birthday this year. And because I have all these resources now, I would love to finally make all the content that I've always wanted to make. So that's what I'm doing. That's how I'm blowing up a little bit. I'm doing something for myself a lot more, which is producing all this content that I've wanted to make for the 4 years I've been doing content creation for. For point number 9, I quite like this point. I want to create memories. I want to travel. I want to go to concerts. I want to have fun dates with my boyfriend, and I want to continue socializing as much as possible. I want to be a social bird this year. I want to go to fun book events if there are any in my area that I can go to. I'm going to be going to PAX in 2026. It is a gaming convention that I went to only once. I went last year and it was really, really fun and I want to go again. The worst thing is it always does fall on the weekend of my birthday, so I have to always figure it out a bit more. You don't want to just focus on getting prettier, working on your health. You want to focus on making good memories that are going to last for years and years and years. That is such an important thing. So hence why I'm telling you guys that that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm hopefully going to be traveling a little bit more than that. I'm already going to 2 concerts in the coming year. I'm going to Cave Town James Marriott, so I'm very excited for those. And yeah, I just want to create a life that I've always wanted to live, and through that I want to create memories, so that's what I'm going to do. And the final point, the final thing in my 10-step plan of glowing up to be the main character that I've always wanted to become, the Feyre Archeron, the Katniss Everdeen, the Percy Jackson. I will be Percy Jackson. I look exactly like Percy Jackson. Is to get proper rest. High key. It's a very simple thing, but I feel like it's something that we always kind of dismiss. I feel like sometimes I want to go to sleep at a good time. I want to get at least like 8 hours of sleep most nights. I want to also read before bed. I feel like that's such an important thing. I love my Kindle. Let me get it for you. I love my Kindle so much. It is the reason that I can read so many books from anywhere. Not sponsored, by the way, but I just love my Kindle. And because of that, I've been reading so much more every single night. And it's such a good way to wind down. I don't look at my phone as much before I go to bed. Usually I'd like start reading at like 10, like periodically on and off. And then by like midnight, I'm like done. Or like even a little bit after. I just kind of read until I get tired. But it helps me get such a better sleep, honestly. I get such a good sleep because I read. But also in the getting rest category is helping prevent burnout, I guess, as well, with having time to myself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a list of movies and TV shows I've never watched that people say I should watch. Like, I've never watched Stranger Things, I've never watched Cobra Kai, I've never watched Outer Banks, Euphoria, any of those. Those are just some of the TV shows I've never watched. But a lot of people think I should watch them, and a lot of people are like shocked that I haven't. So I'm going to be making a big list like that for the coming year and then watching them. Because one, I'm engaging in more media, which I feel like is such a valuable thing as an actor to do. But also, it forces me to have time to myself. If I need to sit down and watch like 2 episodes of Stranger Things every night, that's like an hour and a half to myself, probably more. But it's just time that I have to myself to just relax, rest a little bit from the day, decompress. And then also it's the whole thing of I need to start enjoying time that isn't just social, that isn't me editing away, that isn't me talking to people, that isn't me going out partying. And that is realistically my glow up plans for 2026. This is how I'm going to become a better version of myself. If there are any ways that you guys are going to become better versions of yourself, comment them down below and tell me your ideas and your goals for 2026, because these are all mine. This is the main stuff. This is how I'm going to be having my main character mix, my main character lifestyle. And hopefully you guys are going to be coming along for a fair bit of it as well. Thank you guys very much for listening to this. I hope you guys have gotten some stuff done. I hope you guys have eaten a snack. Drink some water if you haven't as well, because I did talk about drinking water on here. And if you guys like this type of video, let me know and I'll definitely do more videos that are more just yaps. So thank you guys very, very much for coming along. Bye! That was quite fun.